All praises to the Most High. Brothers and sisters, this is your host, the Apostle Reuben, with another short Bible lesson. Now, again, brothers and sisters, we're here to let you know that what the Christians teach can't hold water. It doesn't. You just have to be able to see it. Up on the screen is Romans 6:14. And you know I like to just go on and read it. For sin shall not have dominion over you, for ye are not under the law, but under grace. Now, Christians have used this verse to tell those that keep the law, you're not under the law anymore, but under grace. So we're under grace now. But I want you to pay attention. Let's get right to it. Let's get the book of Genesis chapter 6, verse 5. And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth. Wickedness is sin. Let me show you that real quick. Let me show you that wickedness is sin. Let's get to Genesis chapter 39. And I want to get to the point because I just wanted to show you what wickedness was. Okay. Genesis 39:9. Now, this is Potiphar's wife. She's pursuing Joseph, and Joseph is speaking here in verse 9 of Genesis 39. There is none greater in this house than I, neither hath he kept back anything from me but thee. But thou art his wife. How then can I do this great wickedness and sin against God? So wickedness is sin. That's what wickedness is, sin. They have to let you know what it is. So when you go right on back to Genesis 6, right on back to Genesis 6. Verse 5. And God saw that the wickedness, the sin of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. So the sin of man was great on the earth. I want you to pay attention. Verse 8, here's the key. But Noah found grace. Grace. I want you to pay close attention to this. Noah found grace. This is the same grace Paul is talking about. In the eyes of the Lord. I want you to pay attention. These are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just man and perfect in his generations. And Noah walked with God. What does this mean? See, Noah found grace because he was a just man and perfect in his generations. And Noah walked with God. 3 special gifts. And I'm going to show you what they mean. Let's look at just. See, you always want things defined to your brothers and sisters. What is it to be just? Ezekiel 18. It never changes. God's word does not change. This man here and this man here, out of their own tongue, will tell you, oh, the Lord, this, the that. No. Genesis 6:9, Noah was a just man. Let's look and see what it meant to be just, because we're gonna do all 3. Well, let's just read it this way. Let's do it this way, brothers and sisters, for the sake of time, because it's just a 10-minute episode. These are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just, that's 1, man. Perfect, that's 2 in his generations. And Noah walked, that's 3 with God. So he was just, perfect, and he walked with God. Let's look at it. Let's look at what it means to be just. Ezekiel 18:5. But if a man be just, there it is, J-U-S-T, and do that which is lawful and right. A just man is a lawkeeper. Chapter and verse. Get your pastor to prove that a just man is a sinner. The Easter, Christmas, baby day, dog day, cat day. Put your little Christmas tree bulb on the Christmas tree. Put your little old sock up full of junk. No, that's biblical. But if a man be just and do that which is lawful and right, let's go to verse 9. Hath walked in my statutes, which are my laws, and hath kept my judgments to deal truly, he is just. So a just man is a lawkeeper, y'all. Noah was a just man. Wickedness was sin. The law was back then. That's what I'm trying to tell you. The law was back in the time of Adam. You can't sin without a law. There's no wickedness without a law. Perfect. And how would he be perfect? 1 Kings 8. 1 Kings 8, and I'm going to drop down to verse 61. How are you perfect? 1 Kings 8, 61. Proof now. Pastors are not going to do this. Let your heart, which is your mind, therefore be perfect with the Lord our God, to walk in his statutes and to keep his commandments as at this day. So to be just and to be perfect was keeping the law. They'll have to lie to you if they're trying to, they're not going to find a verse. We already know that. We're where we are. So to be just was in law. To be perfect was in law. Let's go to Malachi. Once again, Malachi. Malachi chapter 2. Let's get to the point. In verse 6. Well, I'll read verse 5. My covenant was with him of life and peace, and I gave them to him for the fear wherewith he feared me, and was afraid before my name. The law of truth was in his mouth. The law of truth. Iniquity was not. That means he was not committing iniquity. Man can do this, brothers and sisters. These Christians talk about, no one can keep the law. Man, they were doing it. The law of truth was in his mouth, and iniquity was not found in his lips. He walked with me. So to walk with God is for the law of truth to be in your mouth, which means to teach it, and iniquity was not found in you, meaning you were not sinning. And then you walk with me, son. So how you Sunday Christians, you listen to these people, how you listen to these people, how you walking with God in sin? How? The law of truth was in his mouth, and iniquity was not found in his lips. He walked with me. He walked with me when the law of truth was in his mouth, and there was no sin being committed by him. That's when he walked with me. And Noah walked with God, and his heart was perfect with God, and he was just, all in keeping the law. That's what it's saying. Noah was a lawkeeper, and he found the grace. But your white pastors are telling you now that you can get grace in sin. That's what the grace is for now, sin. But Noah's grace was given to him because he kept law. Look into the eyes of the snake. How now? Let's go back to Romans. You have to pay attention, brothers and sisters. Let's go back to Romans chapter 6. The Christians are teaching a different grace. It's not the same grace as at the beginning. Noah got grace for what he did. Works. To be just is a work. To be perfect is a work. To walk with God is a work. He was saved by works. Law. That's how he got the grace. But now watch your pork chop eaters. For sin shall not have dominion over you, for ye are not under the law, but under grace. They totally messed up the verse. You are not under the law, but under grace. So you get grace in your sins? No. Noah didn't. He got grace by law keeping. But just in case, what then shall we sin? Because we are not under the law, but under grace? God forbid. Because Noah didn't. Because you are not under the law does not mean you can keep Easter, Christmas, baby day, dog day, cat day. If you are going to get the grace of God in the future, you better be like Noah. Because Noah was the only one with his family saved, and Christ compared it to that day, his second coming. Pay attention, brothers and sisters, and all praises.